Yeah, recording in progress. No, not yet. Okay, let's start the second session of the first week. In the first session, as I shared with you, um, all we are serving as a missionary, pastor, or ministers. Then, without our intention or purpose, we make mistakes. That this kind of mistakes brings a lot of problems. That is what I experienced in the first. Not about my knowledge or my belief uh, in Christianity. So, because I was not used to the local culture. First, for instance, in Indonesia, we rent a big house for our student activity, Christian student activity. The morning when I arrived in the office, some of Indonesian students were sitting around there outside, watching newspaper or chatting each other. So when I enter in the house, I used to say, "Hi, good morning." Good morning in Bahasa Indonesia is "Selamat pagi," and I shake hands, and then I go in. Um, I felt nobody welcomes me, yeah, for during that time. So in my mind, I felt I'm not so comfortable, yeah, with Indonesian students. Oh, they don't like me. Even, they do not say "Selamat pagi," yeah, to me, yeah. It was always me, yeah. I say "Selamat pagi," greeting. But later, rumor arose, and then I came to know that that rumor is about me. Mr. Kyung is so arrogant. What? When I heard it, uh, I was so shocked. Yeah. It was always me. Yeah. Say hello first. Yeah, to them. They were just sitting, and then they just look at me, and then back to their work. What's going on? But later, I came to know that their culture, Indonesian culture, how to greet each other when they meet. Yeah. So in Indonesia, usually man to man, yeah, when they meet, um, they the the person comes to the other one and then shake hands, and they hold hands and shake hands or hug, yeah, like this. Yeah. Man to woman, no touch. Yeah. But there was a Korean way. What I did as a greeting uh, from a certain distance, look at their face, contact eyes, and then say hello, hi with a smile, good morning, and then going. For Indonesians, this is not a greeting. Greetings means human contact, but I didn't know. But why such things happen? Because for them, I'm a missionary, I'm a foreigner, and then I'm older than them, students. So they expect, yeah, uh, Mr. Kyung come to them and then give my hands to shake. Yeah. They were waiting. This was the manner. What I'm saying is low, high context. Yeah. They do not say verbally, but in their heart, mind, expecting something. Yeah. They do not express like American or Koreans. Oh, this is good, this is bad. Oh, yeah. But they do not say. But something is working, yeah, in their heart already. So, what should I do? Yeah, I have to change my behavior. So, after understanding their culture, uh, I try to express, yeah, from myself first. Yeah, go to them and shake hands with a smile. Sometimes, yeah, if I already know someone, yeah, I came to him and then hug him. This is the way. So before I preach, before I teach about the Bible, yeah, uh, I was rejected in that sense. It's a big problem, you know. As a missionary, I think I sacrifice a lot. I humble myself, but what they see is no greeting. But I don't know. So this is the initial process when a foreign missionary uh, come to a mission field. Okay, let's move on. Second one, what is culture? Definitions, properties, and functions. Um, Three things. Yeah. Oh, yeah, before that. So we asked why culture matters for ministry. Yeah. We need to go deeper. We need to ask what exactly is culture? This is not a simple question. Getting a precise answer changes how you see everything, your context, your people, your ministry. Culture matters for ministry. Yeah. Cultural anthropology is a study of why people do what they do. Yeah. Our goal is a deep understanding, yeah, not to seek a right answer. The first, just remember, the most important thing is we understand them. And then later we decide what to do. Not just to do something, before to do something. Try to figure out why. What is the meaning behind what I see? So now what is it exactly? What exactly is culture? Yeah. Let me just introduce. Okay. Ooh, come on. Okay, delete first. Yup. Okay, I want to introduce two scholars. One is Paul Hiebert. His book will be our textbook for this course. So the book title is Anthropological Insight for Missionaries. In his book, he defined what culture is like this: the more or less integrated system of okay, belief, feelings, and values, and their associated symbols, patterns of behavior, and product shared by a group of people. Wow, this seems so complicated and difficult to, yeah. Culture is just culture. Maybe, yeah, we want to say it like that, but in a scholarly manner. Culture is not just, oh, yeah, this kind of shape, the house shape, customs, styles, the language, not only that kind of things. It's kind of a belief. Belief's not about a religion, you know. And then feelings, yeah, feel comfortable, feel happy, feel good. But you know, each ethnicity has their own values and feelings, you know. Korean people can be happy, but it does not mean other ethnicity also happy with the same things. Even feelings, our happiness, loneliness, uh, angry, what Many of our feelings are also shaped by culture. This is a very interesting story I experienced in Indonesia. My wife friends is also a Korean living in Indonesia. Uh, she got the second baby and it's time to deliver. So she went to a local hospital, Indonesian hospital. So time has come and she was put in a bed and then in that room there were other the ladies to deliver baby. In Korea, normally when I deliver a baby, it's so painful, you know, it takes a long time. So it's not a big problem. Yeah, very natural. Because of pain, they make a big sounds. Oh, so hurt. Yeah. And then sometimes, they call her husband name, they shouting, something like that. But the nurse scolded her, keep quiet. So she was shocked. Yeah. I'm delivering a baby, so painful. So it's quite natural to make a big sounds. You shout, oh, but I was scared. And then she looked around at other ladies, very quiet. In Indonesia, usually they do not make a big sounds. The people, Koreans or Chinese maybe, yeah, when they speak in a straight public, sometimes they make a big sounds. Yeah. In airport, when they call their friends over there, hey, Mr. Kim, come here. It is quite natural and allowed. But in Indonesia, it's very rude, very different. But the other things in Indonesia on the street, a lot of motorcycles on the street. Um, they sometimes they just throw the garbage on the street. Wow, but it never allowed in Korea. But Indonesia very natural. You just eat a snack and there's some the venom, just throw it away on the street. Yeah, now they are changing. Yeah, but still it's happening. But in Korea, it's not allowed. The kind of things. This is culture, feelings, values. For Indonesia, this okay. Yeah, making a line in a ticket line to buy something. Yeah, Koreans very strict. Yeah, Indonesian this okay. One people here, another people come cut the line, but nobody got angry. Maybe angry, but nobody said. But in Korea, speak it out. Hey, why are you cutting the line? Move back. This is kind of a value, different value systems. Okay, Clifford Geertz, one of the famous anthropologists. Culture is a public document. It has meaning that transcends any individual's perception. Culture is not about individuals' habit here. It's about shared thing. So I put here 4 things. Learned, culture is learned, observed from birth. Because you were born in India, because I was born in Korea, I was educated in a Korean way, not inherited biologically. So now I'm speaking English, but I feel very difficult, my pronunciations. Um, what's the difference? Because I have been trained to speak in Korean vowels and vowels, not fit well to English. But Chinese or Japanese English is the same, yeah. So culture is shared, belongs to a group. A personal quirk is not culture. Integrated, all parts connect together. Pulling one thread affect others. Carries meaning. This is very important. Yeah, culture is not just a culture; it has a meaning. behaviors are symbols, not just actions. In Koreans, for Koreans, many of symbols, oh, this is good. Oh, this is good. Yeah, but this symbol means a different thing, yeah, according to culture. When I went to the Philippines, when I was a university student, it was the first time, and then I had to lead a student group, though I was also a student. And then we went to a campus to share the gospel with the local student there. And then the one Filipino professor lady was helping us. Then, as a leader of the group, I talked to her. Then I speak in English, but English was not so fluent. Yeah, so the professor lady was listening what I'm saying because we are discussing about the schedule and our activity. Uh, when I say, she responds in that way. Just see my eyes, like this. Whatever I say, she just expressed this one. She was shorter than me. It seems like this. I read the gesture as ignoring me. This is quite usual in Korea. When I confront a person, then I do not agree, and then sometimes I get anger. So what? Something like that. So what? You think you are right? Something like this way. So I read the gesture from the lady in that way. Oh, she is not saying something, but she do not understand. She does not understand my English, and then she looks down at me because I'm a student. She is a professor, and then my English is very poor. So all the things comes up to my mind, and I was so discouraged. But later, I came to know that in the Philippines, this means I agree. But for Koreans, response is like that. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, in this way. But for the Philippines, this one. What about Indians? When I met an Indian colleague in Singapore, uh, for me it's quite strange. He always expressed in that way, in this way. I cannot do that well. Yeah, it carries meaning, but other people read it differently. That's the problem. Let's move. Okay, hold on. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so what is culture? We are like fish in the water. We live inside culture without seeing it. We wear cultural glasses, but we don't know we have them on. We see the world through our culture, and we call what we see normal. The first step in cross-cultural ministry is recognizing the glasses exist. So this is a small, illustration picture. Yeah, the fish live in water, but fish doesn't see the water. This is culture. That's why you are called Indian. Uh, I'm called Korean. So before I went to the Philippines, I didn't know well about what Korean culture is like. When I firstly contact other cultures, then it makes me look back, think about, or realize my culture. This is a good point. We wear cultural glasses, yeah. So that's the first challenge in a cross-cultural ministry. Not taking off the glasses, just recognizing the ego. This is very important. I'm not saying that we need to take off our glasses. Yeah, we cannot do that. Yeah, culture is like water for fish. We cannot do that. But what does it mean? Yeah, we need to realize what type of lens through this lens I am seeing. This is culture. Okay, so 5 properties of culture. Let's go through them quickly. Yeah? First, culture is learned, not inherited biologically. Oh, yeah. Just imagine an Indian born in Korea, born in Korean family. Something happened, like, yeah. Is he like you in the Indian who are born in India? Maybe biologically, appearance same as you, yeah. But because he was born without contact, yeah, with Indian culture, he was grown up in Korean. Maybe he might like kimchi. Yeah? The way of speaking is also Korean. So this is learned. It's the same thing happened. Korean, the Korean baby was adopted to American family. When she or he grew up in the society, if we meet each other, totally he looks like a Korean. But when we start to talk, oh, I realized you are not a Korean. You're American. Why? This is happening. London. She was uh, she was educated. She was grown up in that way. So culture, this is properties of culture. Second, shared belongs to a group. A person habit is not culture, a collective pattern. Cumulative, yeah, build over generations, generation to generations. Each generation inherit and add. This is why all the cultures feel deep. But one thing is important. It is change. It is changing a bit by bit. Dynamic, yeah, culture changes, contact, migration, and globalization or reshape it. No culture is frozen. Then holistic, total and all encompassing, shapes how people see time, God, money, illness, and death. It's very interesting, you know. You and I also learn theology, attending a worship service, reading Bibles. But your God and my God are same. Yeah, we say it's the same God, but the sense of myself about God than you might be different, you know. So it's the same, yeah. Uh, what is family, yeah, to you, yeah? In Korea and in your society, it might be different. What is mother and father, yeah? Husband, wife? How should they relate each other? How to speak each other? Uh, wife, how to speak to husband? Husband, how to speak, yeah, to wife? And children in Korean language, there is a kind of level, yeah, you know, not the same. Yeah, it depends on age. If you are older than me, I have to change my tone and words. Very strict. Yeah. If I do not keep uh, that norm, oh, well, it's very serious thing happening in Korea. So these are the cultures. So we cannot just say, oh, this is Korean culture, this is Indian or in Indonesian culture. No, no, no. It's very deeply rooted and shape our way of thinking, way of life. So as a minister, pastor, or missionary, first thing come to mind when I decide to go to Indonesia. I think I shared the gospel. I teach the gospel in Indonesia after learning the language, and then maybe yet they will receive Jesus Christ. Ooh. But that thing, such things, did not happen. because Korea and Indonesia are quite different, you know. In Korea, changing religion or, you know, the go to church or go to Buddhist temple, it totally depends on individual's decision. I have my parents, sisters and brothers, but nowadays, because Korean society is very individualized, so most of the decision making is depends on that person, not the family. 20 years ago, 30 years ago, it was a different. It was a family matter. But nowadays, it's a personal matter. So my parents still go to the Buddhist temple, but their children can go to church, go to Catholic yeah, service. It depends on the individual. Before that was a conflict in the family, but nowadays there's not. So most of the Korean people think that when they share the gospel, it's the matter of the person. So we pursue him that you decide you receive Jesus Christ. But so we don't understand the so many relations in the powers are working in him. In Indonesia, it's happening. They're still changing our religion. Receiving Jesus Christ is not a personal matter, especially for Muslims. So I put this one. Yeah? Even in Indonesia, it might not so different. Religion is not just a religion. We just cannot put it out. Yeah? It's the problem of language. It's the problem of family structure. Yeah? What about a Muslim? Yeah? It's a shame on family if someone in the family convert to Christianity. That's why they try to find out him and then sometimes put him in a jail or the pity, even murder. It is possible not because they are so crucial. It's a matter of so meaningful, the behavior in the family. And then food, yeah. Muslims does not eat pork, yeah. Koreans like pork, yeah. Indians maybe you have a different one. So all these things are linked together, connected each other very strongly. So conversion is not an individual matter or a simple happenings. Okay, the small next one. Oh, come on. Yeah. Okay, erase first. Oh, no. Where is the eraser? Yeah, okay. So one good thing for us is culture is changes. Um, what this means for ministry, yeah, diverse of cultural change, yeah. Internal discovery and invention, contact with other cultures, globalization, urbanization, technology, migration and displacement. All these things are happening together today. Yeah. It influences on each society, yeah, each culture, city, nations. India today is a vivid example where traditional practices and rapid modernization existing side by side. So you guys, how do you feel? What changes are happening in your society compared to 20 years ago, 50 years ago, or even 10 years ago? After using handphone and internet, what's what is happening? And then urbanization, people come to a city more to packed. A lot of people, so many problems arise. So what cultural changes are happening in your own community right now? So missiological implication, the culture you study today will shift. Ministry requires not a fixed cultural map, but a living ability to keep reading the context. Let's move. Okay. Yeah. What culture does 6 functions? Okay, yeah. Yeah. What culture does identity? I'm a Korean. um, Korean man. I got married. I have 2 children. I have jobs, and then I have degree. Who am I? Yeah. What, what do I like? Tells people who they are and which group they belong to. But just before when I shared, Korean society become more, the individualized. So many Korean peoples do not just seriously think about others' opinion, how others see it. It depends on one's decision. So who am I? But when there is a time we become Korean in a sense of ethnicity, especially in World Cup game, or our national football team have to compete with Japanese soccer team. The history a little bit about Korea and Japan. So that time, all people become one ethnicity, Koreans. What culture does? Communication, shared language, and symbols allow meaning to be communicated, including what is left unsaid. So for me, it's quite difficult to understand the context of Indonesians. Indonesian is multi-languages, multi-ethnicity. Even India, you also say. So people who lived in that kind of environment, and people like a Korean live in how to say that monoculturalism, and then spend 30 years, 40 years. Yeah. It shapes their way of mind. So, yeah, frankly say, for me, maybe it's quite difficult to understand what one experience there. If even, yeah, if you belong to a minority in your society. I don't understand become a minority in terms of ethnicity. Behavioral regulation provide norms. This is how things are done here. Operate mostly unconsciously. Yeah. Just imagine in your country, so many ethnicity, mingle with other ethnicity peoples. How to behave, how to relate, how to speak. Yeah? Very important. Continuity, yeah, culture continues. Yeah. Concept past and present gives a sense of historical belonging and stability. Adaptation, yes. Cultural practice emerges as responses to environment, climate, and social conditions. Yeah. Creativity, culture is a space for artistic and imaginative expression. Music, art, story, ritual. You have your own music. You have your own rituals. It's not about Christianity, but you still keep, yeah, maybe. And then music, maybe Christian music in India and Christian music in Korea might be quite different. This is creativity. Which is the original Christian song? No, it depends on culture. Okay, let's move. The next one. Okay. Don't. Yes. What does it mean? Yeah, culture continues. Culture is cumulative. Yeah. Culture is shared. So now we can see that when someone comes to faith in Christ, they are not just changing a belief, they are potentially touching their identity, community belonging, behavior norms, and sense of historical continuity all at once. So just imagine you might know much better than me, yeah, in this what this means, yeah, in your context. So this is why conversion is never simple and why cultural understanding is not background knowledge for ministry. It's a frontline skills. So when I first time when I started my ministry in Indonesia, there was my problem, not their problem. The way of thinking, yeah, about conversion, receiving Jesus Christ, share the gospel. What we do in Korea is just bring a booklet and in the on the public places, a department store or in the park. When I find it someone who were sitting alone, and then try to make a conversation and share the gospel. That's all. Finished. Reject it or accept it, yeah. And then we pray together. So yeah, he becomes a Christian in that sense. And then next week he is invited to come to my church. That is evangelization in Korea. But is it normal? Can it be happen in that way in your country or in Indonesia? No, different. Yeah, it's a different matter. We need to think. We need to realize. Okay, let's move on fast. Yeah. Two ways of seeing. This is a good concept from anthropology, sociology. Emic and ethic. What is emic and ethic? Emic is insider view. Um, how do people inside the culture see their own word? Why do they do what they do? What does it mean to them? It's emic view, yeah. Meaning, emotion, context, yeah. And then what is the ethic view? You know, outsider view, compare, analyze patterns. So as a Korean missionary who is serving in Indonesia, first, uh, ethic is working because I'm a Korean. Oh, they use the hands. Oh, they greet in that way. Oh, yeah. Oh, their language is like that. The words meaning is like that. So outsiders, as an outsider, I observe what they, how they behave, or what to do. Yeah. So many things come to my mind. But for deeper understanding, uh, I need to see all the things not from myself as a Korean. I need to become an Indonesian, mm, and then see it from the insider's view. That is Emmy. So, as a missionary, pastor, or minister, we need to use this both side. So when we use this both side emigenetic view, we could go deeper, yeah, understanding, yeah? Not right answers, yeah. It's about depths of understanding, yeah? Moving from what happens to why it happens and what it means. So just let me repeat it again. Yeah, amic is in understanding how people inside a culture see their own world, why they do what they do, what it means to them. So in session one, I showed a picture about a K-pop culture, but I said that these girls are Muslims. From the outside, not as a Korean, Indonesian Muslims, when they see these K-pop teams, from ethnic view, these girls are violating Islam. So it is right to be judged, to be criticized. It's by ethics view. But the other hands, uh, what I did, yeah, in my research, is an ethnic view. Yeah. These Muslim girls, how they see and how they interpret their behavior. So for this, I need to interview and I need to participate in their activities regularly. and finally came to know its real meaning behind. So that meaning cannot be found by ethic view yet. Outsiders just see the phenomena. That's why we need to approach in that way, ethic and ethic. So please remember these two words. Next one. Yeah, what we covered this week, why culture matters for ministry, what cultural anthropology is, the goal is deep understanding how this course will work. This was about that session one. Session two, yeah. Two key definitions of culture, Hiebert and Geertz, five properties of culture, six functions of culture, key missiological implications. So next week, we are going to deal from what is culture to how does culture shape the way we see the world, the concept of worldview, how worldview and behaviors in ministry. Wow, we have done a first session. So I'm not sure whether you could get this textbook, Paul Hiebert. So just later, let me know if you could get this book, please, from this week. You start to read chapter by chapter. If you cannot, just make a simple research about the materials. What materials can you access from your location at this moment? I don't know. So later you just research for materials related to this course, yeah, mission and cultural anthropology. Yeah. So just let me know what materials you can get. Then later we could discuss. But if possible, please get this book and every week you read. So this is a few questions about just refer when you read this book. What is culture? I put the pages, but it might be different from yours. Just refer the page numbers. It might be different, the different the versions. So what is culture? Why is understanding it important? What is cultural anthropology and how can it help in mission? So you can find what a prohibit says. What are the, what are the three dimensions of culture? What does it mean that humans are social beings? Yeah. We just read the book and then think about these questions. But there is a weekly assignment, very short assignment, you know. Describe one Indian culture practice you have always taken for granted. Something you do, say, or believe that you have never questioned. What is it? I want to listen from you. Yeah? What do you think you had never questioned it before? Yeah? What does this tell you about how culture works? Only these two. And then the write it about 150 up to 200 words. Very simple. It's less than half page maybe. So you just write a simple the essay, and then later I will let you know my email address through the faculty, so you can send it and share. I will check it. Okay, thank you so much for your attention. Well, very difficult for me because was the first time to do a lecture by using a Zoom recording. Maybe the next week much better. Yeah, I promise. Okay, see you next week. Bye. Yep.